man.
Yeah.
Bring joy on and everybody wants to come and see us.
Hey, we're live.
Hi.
I love this.
I'm going to share this.
Live, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I got to share it. Hold on. Like, let's everyone get your phone out. Like, share it now.
How do we do that?
Oh, yay. Our first guest. Is anybody surprised that it is my husband? Hey, babe. Hi, John. And then we have Darrell. Woo. Hey.
So how do we share this? Do we go to, oh, here we are. Okay.
Yay. Okay, guys, we are super excited. This is after dark. So I'm mysteriously trying to like get like dark in my house, but with a light kind of so that you can still see me. I'm like glowing kind of. It's so funny. I just love this.
We were talking about it. I was like, well, we're doing this. And I was thinking, okay, so there's all different time zones. We know everybody's in different time zones. And I was like, well, let's do like 9 p.m. Laura's like, man, you know what? Let's do a little bit earlier. Well, a little bit earlier, like that's 7 p.m. for Laura. That's 6. Wait, no, that's actually, yeah. And then there's Pacific. I had somebody that was like, wait, they're like after dark. Well, I'm over here in Pacific time and that's like 5 p.m. my time. I'm like, just pretend.
Yeah, that's like me. So when we were getting ready for this, you guys, I'm outside on my deck and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a fire and be in front of the fire pit. And then I'm like, where am I going to put my computer to like show that I'm even at a fire? Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, scratch that. I'm taking my wine inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's see.
Real, right?
Well, thank you so much, Miss Joy Packard, for joining us tonight.
Oh, always.
I promised her a ton of fun, you guys. So we need you guys to interact with us, show some love over there. Make it, what did somebody say? Make the fireworks go off. Like, I think that's with like the little buttons or something like that. Because here's the deal. You know what I just learned? So I just went to the ManyChat conference, which was amazing, by the way. Joy, I know you love all these conferences. Did you go last year?
What was the name of the one you went to?
ManyChat Conversations.
No, I haven't been. I wanted to, but I haven't been to that one. No.
It was really, 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 really good.
If I wasn't going to the one I was going to, I would have been to that.
I know. You're like all over. So same deal. But like it was so good. But it was funny. One of the gals who does she blows it up on Facebook Live. And it's fun because she talks about how she uses chatbots with that. Like everything is obviously, you don't just you can be really good at one thing, but that's just one piece of the entire puzzle. So anyway, so she was talking about how Facebook, and I was telling Laura this, I'm like, gosh, and everybody wonders why, like if you post something on Facebook, I don't care if it's for your business or personal or whatever, like the engagement is not super high, right? Well, guess what? It's because Facebook knows. They know what you're up to. If you're saying, hey, I'm gonna totally get our, like, nobody's gonna be able to see our thing. Because if you say like and comment or share or blah blah blah. So I just said all the things that they're sorry, Laura. Everybody is listening. No, but we have people on here, so they're gonna do it themselves. But I'm just saying, supposedly that type of thing will like
what a glitter bomb.
Exactly. Glitter bomb. We're going to have to say something because that'll tank your engagement. So the girl was like, you have to go through and think of different things. So she says, show me the fireworks or something. Right. Yeah. So she says, show me the fireworks, which means she goes, everybody, all my followers know that show me the fireworks means that you have to go through and hit the like buttons down there so that like they start going off in the bottom corner. So she has to use all these like code words to actually get engagement. I'm like, seriously? I don't know.
How do you do that? I don't even know how to do the firework thing.
Like if you're on, I don't know, can you do it on your phone?
It's basically saying show like the hearts and the whatever, because then it blows up, you know, that's
like down at the bottom. Oh, Miss Tammy's on here. Okay, we're gonna bring her on too. Oh yay, there's 4 of us. You are on live. Don't say anything bad, Tammy. I don't know if I don't think she can hear me or see me. You're on live. Tammy, you are on live. Do you know this? Can you hear me? Oh my gosh.
So hilarious. Oh, fantastic.
She's gonna soon. It's like a 10-second delay.
You're on.
We'll roll with it until she like gets in the mix. She's smiling though, at least.
Either way, if she can maybe hear us on another computer, you're live, girl. We see you, Tanny. Can you hear us?
You. She'll work through it. She's like, I don't know about this. So anyway, she's on. She'll have to turn on her microphone, maybe. Yay! There goes the fireworks.
And I think the cool thing is you guys to hear where you're joining us from, and I'm sure that's probably a taboo word too. But
I know, right?
But it is fun to see. Like, let us know like what city, state, country you're in, because there's people from all over, which is really cool. So drop it like it's hot. Is that good?
Yeah, maybe we could say drop it like it's hot. That's what we'll let everybody know. But that's one of the things that we're going to be doing too. I know. So Joy, how often, and is it strategic, or is it just when you feel like it? Do you choose to like go live? Because I know you have Facebook. Do you have Facebook groups? Do you have multiple groups?
I do. Well, I have I have my conference group. I have my what do you call it? My personal business page. But yeah, I think I'm going to start scheduling it actually. But sometimes I just go live when I have this urge to. I almost use Facebook like my journal almost. It's kind of like, when I have a thought, or I have or if I'm at an event and I want to share things with people, because a lot of people are like, well, I want to know what you're doing there or whatever, and so kind of share. I'm actually on Instagram quite a bit on my stories. So I find that to be
that's awesome. So
easy,
I remember you mentioning at Simple Design, you were talking about that, about the stories that you were doing. And so so do you lean more on Instagram for like the live content? Have you found yourself like doing more on Instagram?
Yeah, I think that lately I've noticed that you can put some crazy 5-second video clip and like 200, 300 people as opposed to Facebook.
Wow.
And it could be something as simple as, I try and mix it up because my kids are on there and they say, Mom, you're so serious. So I have to put some, fun things on there where I'm, show the fun side of me, all the crazy things that I can do. So,
well, speaking of then, has your kids got you on TikTok then?
I'm actually started an account and I want, because Shalene Johnson actually said, believe it or not, the traction from TikTok is, and so
I'm so excited.
So let's do one.
Well, let's do one. Seriously, we will. We'll do a duet. I told Laura, I was like, listen,
I want to learn. I'm like,
I'll teach you. I literally so last night, so I was like going through, and at first I'm like, what's this stupid TikTok stuff? People can mention, I'm looking at it, I'm like, if I had this when I was in high school and college, I would have never graduated. This is all I would do with my life. Not watching, I would create. I would nonstop, the little dances. I already have a file folder. I'm like, listen, we are TikToking. I'm getting together with Laura. We're getting together in October because we have to. I'm like, okay, we are working stuff inside the cracks, and we do batch stuff together, but I'm like, we need to have a mastermind game plan overview. So I'm flying out to Minnesota in October, and we're going to spend 3 days together. We got an awesome Airbnb, and we are just going to hash everything out. I was like, we are totally you need to practice some of the TikTok dances that we're going to do, because we need to do it's going to be so much fun. So yes, same. We are definitely doing TikTok stuff. I tried actually last night. We had a little bit of a family night to where my brother and my mom came over yesterday. We were doing games. We try to do it once a month. It doesn't happen once a month, but we try to do it once a month. And so before we started the games, I was like, oh my gosh, look at, I'm like, we could totally do this TikTok stuff. I'm like, me and my mom, my brother, I was like, but we have to practice first. We have to figure out
to know the moves.
Yeah, we have to know the moves. So I was going through. John seemed less than amused really at this point. So I'm like, fine, we'll scratch this and we'll do this later. I'm like, but I was gonna get my mom and my brother. I'm like, we're doing some TikTok. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna have a thing. Laura's
okay, I'm gonna watch yours.
Joint one. I didn't do it yet.
We're gonna TikTok.
Let's do. Okay, we have to make a commitment. We have to do one tonight.
Okay. Oh my god.
It only has to be 15 seconds. So
I know. Well, so that's our first ticket. You know what's so fun? I don't even. Laura doesn't have an account yet, does she?
I have an account. Oh yeah, I'm not
okay.
that.
There's our commitment. I just got back from an event of a take action event, and so I'm putting you on the spot.
I love it. Well, what?
It's so fun.
So before midnight, we have to put one up.
Oh, it's so funny. So Jessica, which is Laura's sister, said that's all that her girls do. And the ones that crack me up, and I'm like dying, like I'm just waiting for like I can see the ones where like the little girls are doing it with their moms, like, oh my gosh, just wait till Kenzie's old enough for us to TikTok together. And then I see the ones where, and I honestly think it's funny. I think it could go both ways. Obviously, there's some things that are disrespectful, but I think that I don't know. I see it in kind of good fun, but also these kids should be getting grounded. So like they do the ones where they start like the nice song and they're like, okay, their parents really don't know what's going on. Like, okay, mom, I'm gonna TikTok, right? So they're starting it and the song is da-da-da, and the parents are like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden it's like beep, 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 beep. And it's all like vulgar stuff. And you see the parents are like, like and it's serious. Like they're really pranking their parents, and the parents know they're being videoed, and they're like, what? I didn't raise this. What are you doing? It's really funny though, because it's really funny.
Yeah, my kids, I saw this one video when we were in Cancun that they did, and I thought, this is so cool. So yeah, my kids, I'm going to apologize ahead of time if you're listening to this soon, that your mom will be on TikTok, and you know how I get with disco music. So maybe Saturday Night Fever tonight. We'll see.
Oh my God, I love it.
That's what's coming to my head.
There's just so many different ones that, and it's not even about the lip sync. Like I was watching the ones that are all like the ones that go viral, and it's just cracking me up. Like the different thing that's like Martha Dump Truck.
Yeah.
Flash. Here's the Cootie Squad. Like I know that whole thing. Yeah. So many of them. Oh my God.
Yes. Okay. So they're saying you draw attraction or whatever. So is it more for like what is the, like, is it just for getting attention, like marketing purposes, like business mindset wise, what is it? Look, would we have a hot mess account? Like, how would we strategically do that?
I'm guessing what's going to happen is people kind of find you, and then then they're going to start following you on your other channels. And so soon, you're cool and you're funny and all this kind of stuff. But then they basically, when people start following you and they like you, then they'll follow you on Instagram, and then they'll follow you on Facebook, and, figure out what you do. And then it's kind of like, I know that Shalene Johnson, do you guys, know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she had her parents in town, and on Grandparents' Day, her and her son, the grandparents and the son, did that song you just said, Amanda. Yeah. And literally in one day, they had over 230,000 views.
It's
people
crazy.
Like it in one day. And so that just gets to tell you that, I was thinking about how would we use that, like with traffic and stuff. But I mean, I think that the conclusion is that, you get on there and you're funny and you're real or whatever. Cause really TikTok is not where you're serious. That's one thing I do know.
No, not at all.
I'm excited about it.
It is. Me too. It's just fun. But it's also, here's the thing is I don't think like, you don't look at it as a sense of like, okay, necessarily right now as like a large marketing strategy. It's about being out there, because really when you talk about user base, it's not really our avatar that is on there yet, but they will. And what they'll do is they'll be observers, and then when they see this and they're like, oh my gosh, like how funny is that? How fun is that? Like for instance, I was saying you see a bunch of people, a bunch of younger kids, and it's really fun to see all this stuff. It's just and just the creativeness, because they're just short little things. But then there was Howie Mandel and AC Slater, Mario Lopez. They did one together, and you see so you do start to see some of these people, because it's just fun. And like once you're there, and you never know. Here's the thing is why it's like this is relatively new-ish, but right now there's about half the users that are on Instagram already.
Okay, so think about this. Amanda and I were visiting for about 4 or 5 hours this afternoon, kind of planning out to 2020 and all this. But one of the big things we were talking about too, Amanda, we were talking about attraction marketing, right? And like how many people fear doing Facebook Live because it's so serious and you gotta, like plan it out and have bullet points and deliver value and do all this. One TikTok, I mean, I don't totally understand TikTok, but from what I'm hearing, it's like super fun, have fun, like joke around, like whatever. Like if you crash and burn, it's more funny, right? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, this would be a great way for people to warm up, to just become comfortable with themselves in front of a camera, not care, be humorous. What a great way to start attraction marketing, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you never know. And that's what they're saying. Like, you never know where it's going to go. Like a lot of people, if you are an early adopter, by the time say this is something that really does blow up and there's different ways to utilize it. You never know. And, you know, if it is, it's that great piece of the puzzle. You do have a little bit of traction and whatever. Like I said, I do definitely see it. I was looking into it a little bit more because then the same thing, I am more looking at it like the fun aspect of it. Like when you're building an audience, you do want to be fun and authentic and relate. And like, there's different things of that. And when somebody like sees somebody on there that's like, oh my gosh, like this is really fun and cool. Like it just kind of breaks that barrier and lets people know like, yeah, you're a human, you're a person.
Right. I like it.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking for yours tonight.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
No, I'm serious.
I mean, it's like an indoctrinal thing. Like I feel like it has to be the first one has to be really, really good. So I'm like, I want it to be, and I want it because I can just do it. Like we just come in here, but I want it to be like, they have that one where you like do your feet. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Oh, na, na, na. That one? Yeah. Oh, Laura and I are doing that one, possibly with a lot of wine. And we make it even more funny. And John was like telling me, he's like, you guys have got to do this at the Mall of America because it would be hilarious if you guys do something at the Mall of America while you're like filming yourselves. I promise you there will be like crazy TikTok stuff going on. If John will do it with me, I'll do it.
Okay, John. Did you hear that?
Oh, John,
somebody, or can you do it like virtually? Could Amanda and I do it together?
I don't know too much about it.
You can do a duet. Now, I don't know how that works yet, but I bet you it's really easy.
Well, I've seen Shalina do it with her son, and like they're on different screens, so I'm not sure how that works.
I think we can.
I would study it.
Yeah,
we'll have to study it and learn it.
Another glass of wine and anything's possible.
Right? I'm really not like that's the thing. I really do believe like this would have been. I would have spent all my nights in. I would have not went out. Well, I might have went to the parties, but only if we could TikTok. Like I'll be like, I'm only come to your party if we could do lots of TikToks. I just would have done over and over and over again. That's just the stuff that I would just. I don't know. It's pretty
addicting. There's some of them that you watch and just watch over and over again because it's just so interesting.
Oh my gosh. So Kristen and okay, so I have these awesome friends that I know from Amazon merch, and they started their own true crime podcast. It's amazing. It's She Sleuths. It's awesome. So proud of them. Shout out to you guys.
What is it called?
She Sleuths.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, and they're just great. And so it's so cool. And they literally just launched like this past week.
Cool.
So it's awesome. And now they're saying that they are going to do TikTok. So now we have TikTok accountability partners, and I love it. This is amazing.
That's amazing. It is amazing. I don't know really much about it, but I think we should learn it.
I know. And all these kids are going to be like, oh man, who let the old people on our app? We're going to take over.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Oh my goodness. So let me talk, Joy. So you have, and here's one of the things we were talking about, what truly do we want to focus on, and what do we really have to bring to our audience, and why we started doing this in the first place is because, Laura and I do feel so blessed that for, both of us over 10 years, we get to be at home and generate a full-time income online. And we know so many other people that do that as well, whether they have kids, they have other stuff going on, and they do this. You are a mom of 8, plus you have how many beautiful grandbabies?
10, almost 12.
10 beautiful grandbabies. So this is all stuff that the reason why we do this is because we talk to so many people that feel like it's out of reach for them, or they kind of have a side hustle and they're really kind of struggling with how to. Tammy's right here. Let me see if we can get her back on. They're really struggling to try and, I just put you on, girl. So I don't know if you can hear us or not, but
we like your lip gloss.
After reapplied lip gloss.
There we go. Now you're in. But or they have a side hustle and they feel like they are maxed out and they're like, you know what? I want this to be my full-time thing, but I can't bridge that from my side hustle to actually making that leap. And I just feel like that was something that we were going to be able to bring because number one, Laura and I have been doing it for so long in different spaces. So we have a lot of stuff to be able to share there, but we get to connect with amazing women like Tammy and Joy that have totally different perspectives, totally different backgrounds, and totally different circumstances. So that's what we wanted to do to be able to bring that out. So we know now that that's really going to be our focus, because I feel there's so much opportunity online right now. We have got to highlight it and empower women to be able to kick ass in life and business. Like, you guys can do it, right? Like, sometimes there's just little shifts that you have to make, little adjustments, keep learning and growing. And it's almost like sometimes it's like, boom, it's just that snap. You just need to keep pushing and learning and growing, and then it's just going to click. So that's what we want to do. We want to be that click for people so that they can follow their dreams and be in control of, their time, basically. So I'm glad you made it, Tammy. Sorry, I was in the middle of that, but now I'm glad you're here.
Oh, thank you, ladies. So happy to be here with you. My favorite ladies right here. It's been so long since I've seen you.
So Joy, with your podcast, how long have you been doing your podcast?
It's been about a little over a year. And so, I basically need to, I think I told this to you guys in my interview with you, that I'm going to be doing it more on a daily basis, or like on a every other day basis, because it's going to be short little things, because people say they want a dose of it every day. But I don't think I could do like a 30-minute. I don't know. I could talk forever, but unless it's an interview, it'll be longer. But sure. I'm really excited about it. I actually recorded some when I was in Dallas, and so I need to get it to my editor, and then it will be more streamlined to where it's just going to be coming out. And
what compelled you to do a podcast? Because this is new for Laura and I, but obviously you've been doing it for a year. What compelled you to do that?
Okay, well, number one, we're talking about traffic and TikTok and all these kind of things, and a podcast is actually one of the ways to get your message to the world so much quicker than anything else. And I have a dream, as you guys know, to change the world. And in order to do that, I have to do it somehow in all the different ways that I can think of. And so podcasting was one of the biggest ways that I found out. I ran into I can't remember where I heard about Pat Flynn, which, by the way, Pat Flynn was at this conference I was just at. He spoke. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And but I think that it's interesting because you can hit people and reach people all over the world with a podcast. I mean, there's people that are listening in Japan, and people that I don't even know, and just it's incredible. So for me, like the passion that I have, not just with, I just have this passion to help people, and I know I'm just thinking, it's got to be much more than just Facebook Live or emails or whatever. And so podcasting is, definitely the way to go. And I had to get away from it. In fact, last year, my son came home from his mission. Can you believe that? And
he was gone for like 2 years, right?
He was gone for 2 years. And I'm just looking back at this whole year that just flew by, and so many things happening, taking care of a toddler grandson and taking care of my mom and, my son, just everything. And so a lot of things got put on hold, but it's okay when you put things on hold, as long as you just get back to it and don't feel guilty about it. Just
absolutely,
get back to it and do what you need to do. But so podcasting is an amazing way to get to your audience all over the world. It doesn't limit you just to Facebook, or it doesn't limit you in your country. It's literally, when you look at your analytics, when I look at mine, I'm just like, whoa, there's people in Turkey and people in Vietnam and people like in Japan. It just floors me. Like, how do they find us? How do they find it? You know? Because like, I don't know, it's not really a featured podcast, or it's not really, I don't know. I just think it's pretty amazing on how you can just get your voice out into the world, and you're able to reach so many people that way. So it's incredible.
That's awesome.
Well, I think both of you, you're both, all three of you lovely ladies are so inspiring and empowering, and you just have to listen to your voice, which lulls them into, some kind of joy. Every time I listen to you, I want more, you're just so
Thank
inspiring.
you.
And Amanda and Laura, every time I listen to you girls, it's like you're empowering, and it's like, I just feel like I can do 10 times more, So I mean, it's almost addictive, right? You sort of feel comfortable, and then I think they start to, your personalities grow on people, and then they just want more and more and more, and it's exciting, that you have this new medium.
Yeah. Well, Tammy, I think we're getting ready to get yours going, so we can listen to you every day too.
Oh boy. Oh, Bradley.
You have so much to offer.
Yeah.
Those who are listening and don't know that lady, boy, she is a bundle full of so much. I mean,
I know. Yeah. I think you're definitely cut out for a podcast for sure.
we'll be watching for it. I'm making everybody take action when I'm on this.
Action. Joy's like, okay, tonight.
Action.
Oh, now that Tammy's on here, we were talking about TikTok, and we're all committed to getting a TikTok account, which I have, and you have to do your first 15 second TikTok tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what's funny, Tammy? Are you on TikTok yet?
No.
Okay,
No,
well, you know
I
what's
just
funny
think
is
about
that I even told John because, okay, so Tammy can't make it, but she was actually going to come to a marketing event this week in Detroit. And so she's not able to come, but my plan was that you and I were going to practice. I was going to make you in the Airbnb. We're going to practice TikTok. So you just got out of that. You didn't even know. You didn't even know that was going to happen. But I was like, I need to practice TikTok because I knew, like I said, I don't think you were on, but like when I'm visiting Laura in Minnesota, and in October, and we are TikToking. Like we're gonna get, and it's so funny because she's just like, I'm like, I get like, because we need to have like serious business stuff. Like her and I need to mastermind this, that, and the other. And I'm just like,
but I have to take her to the Mall of America because John is like, it's the mall. Amanda's like, I'm not a mall person. And he's like, it's the Mall of freaking America, Amanda. The Mall of America. And
then he's like, listen, there's a whole floor of 21 and over fun. I'm like, oh, I like that kind of mall. Okay.
I've been there and it's amazing. It's
Abercrombie, okay? It's like,
okay, the Mall of freaking America. We got to go to the Mall of freaking America.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh. But gosh, what was I going to say? There was something.
TikTok. So we're doing TikTok.
It was not TikTok. It was a podcast. It was something about podcasting. I forgot. Here's what it was. It was like, okay, so here's one of the things that I think is incredible and again, one of my main things and what drives me to be able to come on here and share with people and share with who we, our audience and, women that we want to empower into, being an entrepreneur, all this kind of stuff is because I know the hesitation of how long it took me. You guys, 13 years, we've been building a business, and it took me how long to step out and say, and I'm not necessarily a shy person per se, but to really understand that, hey, I have something to offer. And it's not that I discount myself, but it's kind of like, I didn't think it was necessarily all of that special. And then I'm like, well, it has nothing to do with necessarily feeling like you're special. It's that, you know what, for so long, especially for these past couple years when I've been going to different events and meeting amazing people, I am consuming incredible information. So here I am. If I'm just how selfish is it if I just consume, meet all these incredible people, and I'm just a consumer? I'm like, shit, you know what? It's not that I'm sitting here being, oh, look at me. It's that I just want to give back some of what I've been able to consume. And so I really feel that a lot of women, because we're humble, we're kind of self-conscious, all these things, and we downplay ourselves, especially moms. Geez Louise, like I can't stand it when you say, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I'm like, God, you're a freaking CEO of a life. Are you kidding me? Like, so I feel like we downplay ourselves a lot. And so that's kind of the message also that I want people to understand is like, you have a message, you have something to say, something to share. And I guarantee you there's people out there that need what you have to offer.
Not only that, but Amanda and I had a conversation before. We knew we wanted to bring something to the table, and we're working on an amazing digital course to come out probably early 2020 or the end of this year. But literally, it is very humbling. Like, we literally had to brainstorm for 4 to 5 hours because sometimes what you don't even realize is all the superpowers you have, and we're like, what do we have to offer? Like, what do we know that you just assume everyone knows what you know, right? We're like, what would we have to offer anyone? And we're like, I mean, literally, it took us hours to figure, like, to hash this out. We still haven't even figured it out yet. Like, I mean, we're still like hashing this out, and we're taking this digital course now. But I'm like, oh my gosh, Amanda, I think we're overthinking this. Like, we have tons of stuff to offer the world. Like, I think we're overthinking this. I think as women, we do that. We're like, what do I really have to offer the world? When it's really like, then you go online and like somebody's paying somebody to learn how to make cucumbers, and somebody's paying somebody to learn how to keep their plants alive, and somebody's paying somebody for a course on how to breastfeed their child. I mean, it's just like everything. There's a course on any subject. How do I get my kids to bed? How do I make them behave? I mean, anything you know how to do, somebody's paying to learn how to do that, right? So I think that was a little eye-opening for us. And I was like humbled by that, though. I'm like, Amanda, we know something. Come on, what are we?
Absolutely.
I think it's also being able to narrow. So it went from us being like, okay, we want to correlate, because if we're going to do this, like, obviously we've been building businesses, which is relatively a complex thing, for over a decade, to the point to where we've done lots of different things. And so we've been doing this for so long, you forget that middle part until you talk with people and you're like, wow, like these are the pieces that are the foundation to really what anybody wants to do. And then it went from being like, okay, what's the main thing that we're going to share, we're going to teach? And then dialing it back to, we started being like, oh, wait, then there's this, and there's this, and there's this. And then there was actually a lot of different things. And now we're like, wait, now we have to pick one. It's like there's so much that we actually know, because that's what people want to know. And we're learning it, we're taking it, and we're applying it. And yeah, so there's a lot of different avenues that is on there, because we've made money in a lot of different ways. Same thing with both of you ladies. You ladies have made money in a lot of different ways online.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was going to just piggyback on one thing you said there, and it reminds me, Joy, of some of the things that you do and you talk about often. And I just love how you break down simplistic things. You know, Joy talked about, I think it was something about, you know, when you write a thing down, you remember it. And I remember saying that to a friend. This is something that we all learn, right? We go to all these digital courses and we learn that we just absorb all this information, like fire hose it all the time. And we know how to do that over time, right? Because we're in this business. But I think the normal person, or the person that doesn't, you know, have the opportunity to do that, just is shocked and amazed at how we can absorb so much information. Or, you know, and Joy, you're really good at, every time I listen to you, I'm like, it's such a great point that, you know, we just take for granted, you know, something like that. Now, I was telling a girlfriend of mine, I said, make sure you write it down. Then, you know, if you need to put it on an index card, say it to yourself a couple of times, and then you have it, right? Now it's committed to memory. So, and these are the little things that look how simple that was, that little tip that helped people so much, you know.
Thank you. That's so nice of you to say. Yeah, I was thinking about when you said that, one of my sons, I have a lot of sons, but one of my sons, David, the missionary that came home actually, and he said, Mom, you need to make a course about such and such. I don't even know what it was I was talking to him about, but because like and I always tell my kids this, I'm like, when you don't know how to do something and you learn it, like right now, I'm learning Shopify. And I told my husband just now when I got home, I'm like, honey, I finally understand, you know, how to get on there and go through the platform of, you know, Facebook ads. And I almost gave up because I'm just like, this is so hard, you know, this hard to understand or whatever. But something is like, I don't remember what I was telling my son. I think it was, hey son, you know, when you buy something online, always look for a promo code, because most likely there's one out there. And so he was buying, I don't know, some tennis shoes or something. And he's like, Mom, you're so right. I saved like $15 or $20 and it was amazing. You need to put a course on this. I'm like, you know, because I think we take for granted what we know. And it's kind of like what Amanda was saying earlier too, like, and I learned, you know, every time I go to an event and just even like with my retreats, I finally got through a retreat course and they were talking about the content that you're going to give to people. And they were talking about how I know you know so much and you have to be careful not to give so much, but it's like every single one of us, especially as women, have something deep down here inside that we have to share with the world. And it's not fair. Like me and Amanda go to all these conferences, and Tammy and Laura, all you guys, all of us go to all these events and conferences. And it's true. We learn so much, and it's like an obligation almost to share with what you know with the world, not just at events, but just, I feel like whatever. And that's why I'm drawn to do like with my retreats. It's like, it's not fair for me to save this. It's not doing me any, you know, I mean, it does me good by myself, but it's not fair to not share it, especially with other women who this can, benefit, like green juice, even, simple as drinking a green juice that's changed my life over the last 5 years. Whenever I'm still not perfect with my health, but I remember 4 or 5 years ago when all I wanted to do was sleep, and my kids would tell you that's all I wanted to do. And, I'm like, I have to do something different. And so like just that even little thing, like even in Dallas, I ordered my green juice and somebody was sitting next to me, where'd you get that? What is that? What does it do? And so, we had this conversation, and just like, I got to thinking, like, it's so like fundamental to me now, like to drink a green juice every day. But somebody out there, or even someone who's listening to this podcast, whatever we're calling this tonight, the, After Dark, hot mess to success stuff. I bet that's going to help at least one person tonight, to just drink green juice every day. I promise you, it's going to change your life. And so whatever it is that each of us, all 4 of us here, the women that are here, everybody in the world has something in their heart and something that you've learned. And I feel like if we treat it like it's an obligation for me to share this, then that's where, it's, like Laura was saying, somebody teaching how to cut cucumbers, or, I learned from somebody the other day how to cut an avocado way better than I can cut it. So, it's like a cooking channel, and they have the subscription. So, like I say, I think dig deep down inside, and every single person has something that they can share to teach somebody.
And it's not to take the little things for granted, like taking notes, right? Like you assume everyone would know that, right? You assume that everyone would know, like, hey, drink 8 glasses of water a day or whatever, drink have your body weight in water. But you think people would know this. And like, that's part of the thing that Amanda and I were talking about today, like pulling out little bite-sized things to do on YouTube videos and to do on different video streams. And I said, it's these little things, like we have to remember that nothing's new. It's not like we're all of a sudden going to genius come up with 5 steps to success that no one's ever heard about before. Mm-hmm. Like somebody's already said it somewhere, right? But like, it's the way you communicate and your audience and who's following you. And sure, somebody else has probably never heard it yet, or they never heard it in the way that you're saying it. Or the other big thing I've realized in my life is like, I can be told something 3, 4, 5 times. It depends on where I'm at in my life, how I receive it, right? So like, I know I need to do that. I know I should be, do positive affirmations. I know I should have gratitude, but it's like where I'm at in my life on how I receive the information. Like, oh, now that's what I do every single day, right? I wake up to gratitudes, but that's how I finally received that into my life. When it was the time that I needed to receive that into my life, before that, I maybe wasn't ready for it or whatever it might have been. So I think there's so much value in that, and not thinking that we're just a broken record, but there's somebody who needs to hear your message.
Absolutely. So thus, Tammy's podcast she's going to be announcing it here soon.
I love it. I love you guys. Joy, I was with you guys when you were like, you know what? You have to be on live every day. And I started to commit to that. I did. I will get back on it. Just being with you girls tonight again, just getting on live. And what you said just moments ago, it's our obligation to share these things with people, makes us, I just have to tell that to myself when I say, oh, I don't know what to say, or, oh, do whatever, I can do it tomorrow. You know what? No, it's my obligation. I have to do that. Yeah. I have to be on.
Absolutely.
I have to share this. This is like a big thing. Today I taught someone how to cut an onion in like less than a couple minutes. Like, everybody should know this.
There you go. I agree. And there's a lot of times where I think that the problem, that it's not a problem, but sometimes people are scared to go on Facebook Live. And several years ago, I was in a group, and how I started doing lives was, and I wasn't a video person, and I was like, what? I don't want to, talk in front of people. But they gave us a challenge, and they say, we're going to do a 21-day or a 30-day challenge, and you have to go live every single day. It doesn't matter if nobody's watching you, if one person's watching you. And I think that because of that, they even they didn't make me, but they said, you have to do something that you are scared to do. And so what I did, in fact, I just looked at it. It was a memory on my Facebook. I pulled out my guitar and played a song that I wrote on Facebook Live. And I'm just like, I'm not a singer like my kids. Okay. I can have something come out of my mouth, but it doesn't always sound like them. And I'm just saying, like, I think that, it's one of the greatest, to me, it's a great challenge because it just makes yourself get out there, and it doesn't matter who's listening at the time, because somebody, it's interesting because I met this one lady at a, sorry, there's this like fly in here. It keeps coming on this microphone.
Laura, it's okay. Laura had flies too. It's okay.
Where is that? So I met this lady at I don't remember which event, but she came up to me and I didn't know. And she's like, I know, she says, it was in Jamaica. She said, you don't really know me, but I have been following you on Facebook for 4 years. And I watch every single live video that you've ever done. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, and I don't really, I don't really like videos and stuff because I'm kind of a private person, which there's people that are that way, they get on Facebook because a lot of their groups and stuff are on Facebook to learn. Yeah. But I'm just saying that you never know who needs to hear your message every single day. And one of the reasons that I continue to do what I'm doing is I had an old high school friend reach out to me. I think it was about 6 years ago. And she said, by the way, I got on Facebook, I got off Facebook, I got on Facebook, and I got on Facebook. And so basically, to make the long story short, she thought about committing suicide. Okay. And she had all these things happen to her. And she said, I got on Facebook and I don't know what it was. You just did this 2-minute video. I don't even know what I said. And she's like, and so every morning I go and look for your video. And I'm like, and I'm like, there we go again with the obligation. We don't know who we're helping. You know what I mean? You girls, this podcast, I'm sure that you guys have started is probably more than helps so many moms, feel better about themselves, women who are trying to raise their family, earn a living from home or do whatever they're doing. It's amazing what you guys are doing. It's the start of a great movement. So
thank you.
I love it too. I love the whole premise, you know what, because a lot of people can get down on themselves with, I did that wrong. Oh, I'm a horrible mom. Oh, now what have I done? How am I ever going to overcome this? And, to share stories of how other people did that or got through things is all people need sometimes,
Well, and you guys too. Thank you guys for coming out and sharing. That's a big thing. And I think that was huge. And, Tammy, I'm going to say this just because I know that you're not going to care, but like, I'm going to share the message that you gave me afterwards. I think it was beautiful from where you came from, but I also think it's beautiful from a perspective of, so there's a couple things like Tammy, when I invited her on the podcast, like she was like, yes, we're going to do this. And then she's like, let's inspire more. Like that was like her premise. That was her vision for this. So then we did the podcast, and when we did the podcast, we talked as girlfriends. Like that's what we did. She shared about her past. She opened up to that part. And then it was like a message after the thought. She goes, gosh, she's like, I'm not really sure if I was like really professional enough. Like during the I'm like, are you girl? Like this is the point of it. Like you're a total freaking boss, but a huge part, like the whole interview process of it is that's what we want to bring. That's our hot mess is our title. Like we want to bring that. You know what? Guess what? There's not. I mean, you wouldn't think about that in professionalism. That's the biggest reason why I feel there's so many women out there that are just like, I can't because I have this hot mess going on, right? And like we're stripping that away because we're saying no, it's in spite of. And so like that was just something, and I know that you were just like, no, like I want to provide, a ton of value. And I'm sitting here like, you have no clue what you just did for all these people listening to your podcast. Like this was huge. Like yours was one of the, like, I was so excited when we were done. I'm like, wow, people are going to hear this. And you have no idea how many people you just touched with your story and just empowered to be able to move on and have the strength. And that's one of the things, like you just said a minute ago, when Joy was encouraging you, you're going to do your podcast, and she was encouraging you to go live, and you're like, oh, just being around this. And it's like, this doesn't happen enough. You know what Laura mentioned a minute before we got on, and she's like, one of the biggest things, and we're like, how can we bring all these things that are so important? One of the biggest things is this collective, true friend support, sisterhood. Like, how do you do it? It's not easy, right? Because it has to be authentic. It has to be genuine. And to be able to do that, like you just said, like, thankfully we've met each other, we know each other, and we've been able to, meet up, hear these stories, really connect on a deeper level, have those meaningful conversations. And encouraging. I mean, that's not something that just happens, you know, when people are talking about there's this automation and there's all this thing. Well, you know what? That's not going to happen with automations. Robots are not going to, you know, replace all of that. And that is something to the core that as human beings we need. And when you have that, it's incredible. Just being on Facebook Live, now you're starting a podcast and going live every day, Tammy. Look at that. And getting on TikTok. 3 things.
There you go. I'm with all you guys TikTok
I love you, ladies. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh. That's what I said. Like when Amanda and I started this, our mission was there's tons of podcasts that tell you how to, right? Like how to have success online, how to build your email list, how to do this, how to do that. There's all these how-to things. And I said, that's great. But the issue is that we as women tend to feel like like Amanda just said, I would, but I have this, and this going on. So the reality was people were putting us on a pedestal. Like when I started being honest with myself and with the world versus just having the highlight reel on social media where everyone's like, Laura lives this perfect, pretty life. And then I'm like, oh, holy shit, you have no idea what's going on behind closed doors kind of thing, you know? And when you start being real and like telling people like, I'm a hot freaking mess, but I am not going to let that hold me back. You know, I have a lot of hot messes going on in my life, but my children are going to motivate me to, you know, to level up. Right. And you don't let those things hold you back.
Hi.
Right.
Sorry.
And, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
My mini Lily.
Yeah. Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for letting us borrow your mama for a minute.
What a
Like, that's okay. I want to watch naughty YouTube videos.
Go watch. You got to teach your mom how to TikTok soon.
Yeah, there you go, girl.
All right.
So either way, you guys, the point is that we realized in season 1, I jotted this down before we got on, like some of the hot messes that we went through, or that were covered in season 1, and these are just some of them. But alcohol addiction, depression, anxiety, miscarriage, drug addiction, divorce, financial hot messes, like acceptance from their father or other people, or need of acceptance from other people. You know, like the FBI shocker of Tammy, you know, you know, just like literally just all of these hot messes that all of these successful entrepreneurs have went through, that at the moment, sometimes it feels like, just like we talked about on one of the latest episodes, I said, there's all kinds of fires in our life, right? Fires that can burn you out, fires that can light up your rear end and get you to do something, right? Motivate you, motivational fires. Or are you going to let the fire motivate you? Are you going to let the fire burn you out? Or like, how are you going to let these fires burn in your life? Because inevitably, we're all going to have these little fires popping up all over in our life. And so it's like, you've got to choose how you let your fires burn. And so it's been so inspirational to listen to all of these different guests throughout season 1. So for those of you that are watching and haven't had a chance to really watch our podcast, if you just go to hotmesstosuccess.com and click on podcast, you can see all 16, actually 17 episodes, because we have 000, which doesn't count. So there's 17 total episodes. But you can just kind of scroll through and see what relates to you and see what maybe you want to hear a little bit more about. But we've got an incredible lineup from season 1. And so we really covered a lot of hot messes in season 1. So I said, Amanda, season 2, we have such a plan already after our 5-hour conversation today to really bring it on helping ladies level up the next level in their business, you know, like real heavy, amazing content about leveling up their businesses now. And knowing that all these fires that are burning are still going to be happening, but you can still level up in life and business to really kick ass in life and business, right? So it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, we're amped. And it is funny. Like even that's one of the things, like Kristen Harris just said, you know, check out imposter syndrome. And yeah, I have not dove deep into that, but I know exactly, because there's a lot of people that like talk about that, because that's kind of the thing. People fear putting themselves out there because they're like, oh, I feel like, same deal. Like, what do I have to offer and whatever. And I think that would be a great podcast in itself, because again, removing those limiting beliefs. And I think that's what it has a lot to do with, being able to remove those limiting beliefs, so people can actually step out and embrace, being out there. And so, but I just really want to thank you ladies for being on here as well. We're not getting off just yet, but I want to, before we get, and wrapping up, I want everybody to be able to check out both of your guys' episodes for our podcast. We have hotmesstosuccess.com/joy. That is Miss Joy Packard's episode. And then Tammy's episode is hotmesstosuccess.com/Zon Factor, ZON Factor. So you guys have to check that out. And those were both incredible. I actually got a message today from a gal. I messaged Tammy, but I got a message today from a gal who is in fitness. And she's looking for ways to think outside of the box to be able to help. She had a baby, I think it was about a year ago. And I know her time, she basically leads boot camps and fitness classes and things. And she said that and I didn't even know she was listening to the podcast, right? She said she was listening and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, I need more information on Tammy's book. I'm like, did you guys really say that I can like do videos and put them on Fire Stick or something? She's like, I just need to know about this. She goes, because I really feel like I can get out there more. She lives in more of a small town. And so she messaged me. I'm like, I will connect you with her. That's the thing that I love, is because like we're talking to people and people just, you just might not know that one little thing that you can do. And I mean, I just think that's amazing that and who knows when this goes on, like how many other people are going to be like interested or like going and checking out your book and, figuring out different ways to make money online so that she can stay home with her baby and like have more time with her baby. Like that's what she wants to do. So I just thought that was just absolutely wonderful. I'm really excited for that. And yeah, we have a lot in store. Tim doesn't even know this. I have to talk to you off air because we have some stuff to talk to you about too. Some ideas. We're gonna put Tammy all to work with that. But
all right.
I can't wait until we do something to where we are all like together as well. Like I know we're gonna all be, hanging out in person here very soon. It's just gonna happen. I know it. So
Joy, I don't even know how you do it, Joy. Between you, Amanda, you're always bouncing around too. I was like, oh my gosh, something happens and sometimes I feel so conflicted. Like I should go, I need to go, I want to go. But then I feel like, oh my gosh, I can't leave my family dealing with this disaster on their own,
But that's the thing. Like, this is one of the things that I know too. Like you said, like you want to go, but this is why we do what we do, is so that you can truly prioritize what matters most. Mm-hmm. And I think that shows like Joy said, guess what? She stopped doing her podcast for a little bit. Why? Because she could step away from it for a minute because she had to check ourselves. Like we're so driven. That's what happens. It's kind of like this crazy conflict. Like you get so driven that you're like, and then you feel bad about this thing when you're like, wait, I'm doing this thing so that I can have these choices. So when things matter, I'm there. I get to make that choice. And yes, sometimes it can be a tough choice because you feel a divide, but like you look and say, okay, what is my true priority? And when you can do that, a lot changes. And so good for you for being able to say, like, no. Like, and Joy and I were talking about this when we were at an event. Like, it's okay to say no. And she almost said no. Like, we were talking about, I'm like, girl, like, I've been saying no to going to all these things, but you call me up and I don't say no to you because
that was an awesome event.
It's hard to say no to you girls.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
I think that's super important what you say, Tammy, because like, I am going to only have one kid at home. And so when my kids were little, it was hard for me to do, like you have I don't know how young your daughter is, but I have a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old, and 18-year-old is leaving in about 3 weeks. And so he drives now. So it is a little bit easier. My husband works, he's pretty much semi-retired. So I'm in a totally different stage than I was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, where it was super hard. And now it's like, I still do have to say no to events and stuff, but there's certain events that I'm like, I have, I'm doing this for me and myself. Like, for example, I went to a retreat last weekend. It was super hard to leave my family, but I came back better. I came back more like where I can handle things better. I was able to bring them to my daughter. So you lay it out on the line and you're like, okay, what is the reason I'm going to this event? And if the reason is to better yourself, to help your family, and you're gone for 3 days out of the 30 days of the month, you know what I mean? It's like, we need time for ourselves too. And for me, like when I go to events, I also look at it as time for me.
Yeah.
Because I completely enjoy it. I love connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself a connector. I connect so many people, and and part of it is just because I go to these events and I network with people and I enjoy it. And so I think that's where, it gets to be where it's the me time, depending on how you want to spend your me time. If I'm spending 3 days out of the month or whatever, going to an event, I think that, now I know it's September, like I'm going to Vegas this coming weekend and then I'm done for a little bit, but my kids,
that's the thing though too, like, and I look at it this way, like same deal. Like I enjoy that. And like, sometimes I like think, gosh, like obviously I'm posting it and I'm traveling and stuff. And then it's like, wow, like, she's like always traveling. I'm like, well, 24/7 I'm at home unless I'm traveling. Like,
exactly.
That's the thing. Like, and it's amazing. It is, it's that it's such an incredible, and not everybody you don't have to travel, but I genuinely enjoy it. And then that 3 days is that sweet spot. Anything longer than that, and I start, and sometimes I do have longer vacations, or trips or whatever, and I start to feel it. Like, I miss the family. That 3 days, I'm good to go, do my thing, be there, whatever. And then, I mean, it's obviously you miss them the entire time, but like you're in a different environment and you're in the zone, you're there for a purpose. And then also when I'm there, I make sure that I'm there. Like, if I'm going to take time away from my family, I'm going to be present. I'm going to make it count. Like, it's very intentional. And then, like I said, then I come back. There's a few trips that were lengthy, and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm away from my family for this long. But other than that, like, just popping out and going for like a few days, I think it's really good. I love it. I don't see it being anything different, really. It's a great mix.
I want to expand upon something you said. When you said I go to events, and Joy, you said the same thing. I feel like I'm a connector, and we really enjoy it. I told my husband, he was like, you haven't. I've called you 5 times. And he never calls me. But something happened, and I was like, you know what? At these events, I am so connected. I'm so just living every breath that I don't even have time. I don't even want to go to the bathroom. Like, I don't even want to leave to go to the lake.
So true.
Like, every second on some of these events when we're connecting with, I think I told you this, Joy, I felt when I started going to events, I said, oh my gosh, because I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. And when I really started going to events, when my older kids were older and there was that sweet spot where, oh, I can go to events now. My eyes opened up and I said, oh my gosh, I feel like a lost dinosaur that found its herd. Like, where? I can't even imagine much more amazing my life would have been, had I been going to events. And so when you're with like-minded people and you're in an environment like we are right now tonight, just talking as friends and supporting each other and pushing each other and masterminding with each other, it's just so inspiring and empowering. And you come back home and you're just ready to rock, for the next
absolutely
days, right?
Especially when some of those days are not necessarily the work ones. Like if you're doing like a retreat, like I do, or whatever, where you're definitely like doing healing and you're doing, you're working on your health, your relationships. It's amazing. And so I just started doing that, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe once or twice a year now.
Yeah.
And, I come back a better mom. I feel like all of us need that time to get away from it. Like my daughter, Selena, just babysat 6 kids for 7 days. And she's like, Mom, how did you do this? And she had not gotten out of the house. And when she got out of the house for the first time by herself, she's like, now I understand you so much more. Like you just treasure that time. And it's so true as moms and wives. Like we have to take time for ourselves. And whether that be to go to an event or to go to the spa or to just sit on your porch and have your own time.
Yeah.
All of us have to get away from that everyday environment, in my opinion, so that you can just be a better mom and a better wife. You're happier. My kids notice I'm happier when I come home because I'm not like taking care of like cooking and cleaning and changing diapers. I don't change as many diapers, but I'm just saying,
You probably changed some as a Lola.
Actually, you're right. I did do that today.
Here's one of the biggest things is I think what happens is when we are home, especially when you're home and you're also running a business, you can work till infinity. There is not 1 ounce of anything that your to-do list is done ever. So it's like, it's constant. So it's like, you don't give yourself, I don't, like John even says, like, it's funny because truth be told, I'll work on this, you guys, but my side of the bedroom, my clothes, my luggage, my, all this stuff, like it's there, whatever. I will have brief moments that part is cleaned up, but you know what? I go in Kenzie's room is all Marie Kondo'd, like all of her like drawers and everything with all of her little stuff and like everything else. But like, I'm just like, okay, well, yeah, like I have everything else is on there, but I should carve out this time. But you know what? The time that I would carve out for myself, I do other things. Like I fill it up with other things for the house or for the business or whatever. So like when you say like, when you take that time away for a minute, like you actually get to think and take a breath and just, you don't feel pulled to do all of these things. It's not like you're just sitting there doing nothing, but you're not pulled to do all of the daily things. And like, you get to like, think a little bit more on yourself, think a little bit higher level on your business. Like you said, connect with people. It's so true. It's amazing. And I think that's one of the things, obviously that's why we're all connected. I mean, it happened, boom, boom, boom. And I feel like we're so close that like, we just recognize that. And when you truly connect with somebody and just on that level, it's just amazing. So I appreciate the ability to be able to do that. I appreciate an awesome husband that supports me in that way as well. So like there's a lot there, but yeah, I would highly encourage, you know, even starting. I know that Laura prior, she was in some really incredible supportive Facebook groups. It can even start like that. But then figuring out and getting around people that are going to encourage you, to challenge you, you know, to empower you. And then, yeah, you know what? You probably want to make that step to go to some events, invest in yourself. It changes a lot. So, yeah.
Isn't every one of us is connected because we all met through events?
Yep.
I mean, really, like, that's how we all became connected, is because
very true.
Even you and I, Amanda, like, if we just been in the same business together, we never would have known each other had we not met at events, right? So all of us have connected because we went to events. So there's a big
absolutely.
So someday when we have our 2020 Hot Mess to Success Mastermind event live in some tropical location.
I said we have to do it tropically, which is hilarious because so when I met at Simple Zon, we're going to wrap this up real quick, guys. It's about an hour, but and I have to do the winner for our thing. But at Simple Zon is when we hung out. I was hanging out with Tammy. It was really late at night and I'm like, that's it. I was like, this is the first time, because I'd been to a lot of different e-com events and I like met this girl and this woman and these awesome people, and like little. All of a sudden, I'm in this Simple Zon event with all these incredible women. I was like, joy just attracts the most amazing women. And we're sitting there, it was me, Tammy, it was Becky. And then there was like Chris Green and Fernando. And then was that it? So these were two guys. Here I am on rah, rah.
So many women. Too.
Oh my God. I was like, rah, rah, women ecom. We're having an event. Da, 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 da. And it was like us there. And then you have like the two guys like, yeah, you guys should really do something like that. It was hilarious. But I just got on this kick. I was like, holy smokes. Where are all these women? Where are all these women? They're amazing. Like we need to bring them out and like lift them up on a pedestal, like, and exactly what you had done, Joy. And like, I just know they're out there. They're just not shouting it from the rooftops yet. Absolutely. Because maybe they haven't found their voice, but it's time for them to find their freaking voice. So
they do, because look, all of us are finding our voice and nobody would know about all these different things if we didn't find our voice. Nope. So for those of you who have something inside and you think, I don't think I can do a Facebook Live. I didn't think I could do a Facebook Live either. And now I can't stop doing them. So
yeah. Well, see, and that's one of the things we were talking about. God, what were you saying?
If you didn't think you could TikTok, you can.
I know.
There you go. This is all new to us. So all of us are starting at the beginning. I'm going to get my daughter in here to show me how to do a TikTok.
Oh, we're going to have TikTok battles.
So yeah, it's going to be awesome.
That will be fun. And you know, the next thing we have to do is we all have to do LinkedIn videos.
Oh, I know. True. LinkedIn is supposed to be like, that's one of the things. We have to have somebody come on and talk about LinkedIn, because absolutely. I know, like there was somebody that was there at the Money Chat conference, and I know how important that is too. Like that's the platform was so clunky and like old and like when I used it for when we did mortgages, I was like, I'm done with this. It was but it's really it is good. Yeah. It's really important. Okay, I do have to announce our winner. I should have gotten the stuff to like show you guys, but I don't even have it here. Whatever. So, but I'll show you
in your
upstairs
in your room.
What do you get in my suitcase in my room? Right.
I had that issue for 2 years, but I just cleaned it up. So my husband.
I did right before my last one. It was all cleaned up, and like now I'm like, oh, I'll stay on top of it. Oh my gosh. But anyways, so we do have a winner. So thank you for everybody that had entered and participated. And so we have a year's worth of nootropic coffee. Have you guys ever used any nootropic things at all? Have you heard about?
No.
I honestly don't know. I've been using nootropic coffee for probably almost 2 years now. And I'm not a coffee person, but like one of my friends had this, they called it happy coffee stuff. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I was legit a customer of this stuff for like 8 months until like the shipping got a little bit weird. I'm like, whatever. But I'm like, I need to find an alternative. So I found an alternative that was, I don't know much about nootropics at all, but I know that this stuff is amazing. Like I freaking love it. And it just gives me like, I don't know, focus, clarity, all this stuff. So whatever. We have a full year supply. It's 365 packets that you get. So this person won that. And these are like $2 a piece. These because it has like this special brain juice. I don't really know all the details. Don't ask.
Awesome. That's an
Right?
awesome gift. No, I love nootropics.
You do. So you gotta tell me. Girl, see,
after lunch, and you get that fog and you can't find your words. The nootropics get you through that. You keep focused. It's a good gift.
I know there's different nootropics too, and I don't really know the details on it. So anyway, so this one, like I said, it's awesome. You get 365 of these pre-serving thingies. We got you set up with that, and then we have this. It's I'm not even gonna say it right. A Solier. It's like a rose gold. It's I was at actually ASD. And I was talking to this gal about, what we were doing. And she's like, gosh, I bet you they would like love this thing. It's like this hair straightener, but it's like, he's like, you don't have to do it this way. And it's just the comb. And it's like, it's usually just for professional hairdressers and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so we have that included, and that's $350. So over $1,000 package that you are going to get. And we think we did a little bit of super sleuthing ourselves and figured out who the last name is because the last name isn't on here, but I do have the email. And the girl's name is Missy. And I mean, you can probably say it probably is her, right? I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not going to say what her email is.
Missy, that's an amazing gift, you guys. Wow.
So awesome. Missy, we're going to email you. We're going to get that out to you. And congratulations. You're going to have to tag us and tell us how awesome this coffee is for you. But yeah, so you guys, thank you so much for hopping on. I know Joy, both of you guys were crazy busy. Joy was like coming in from, an event, and she had, her grandbabies there, and we genuinely appreciate your time more than you know. Love connecting with you guys. I know this is just the start of a lot of different things, and a lot of different times that we're going to be meeting, not just virtually, but I can't wait to hang out with you guys in person again. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you, ladies.
You too.
Take care. Yeah, awesome. Have a great night. And thank you guys for everybody for hopping on. Missy. Sorry, congrats, Missy. Missy, M-I-S-Y. I just saw because Donna put Missy. But thank you guys for everybody for hopping on with us. Really appreciate it. That's one of the things that we have committed to. We are going to be doing more Facebook Lives. So we have our podcast. We finally figured that out because we were rookies in that jazz, but we know we're going to be coming on Facebook Live and sharing with you guys as well. We are really seriously considering doing our podcast via Facebook Live.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're thinking that could be that might be something that we're doing. So look onto that. So just so everybody knows too, our we're going to have all the videos that we did for the first 17 episodes. It goes from 0 to 16, but again, because it's 0, so there's 17 of them. We're going to be sharing them all over this next week to kind of cycle and share what we have, because I know a lot of people didn't necessarily know what we had going on. And then we plan to drop for season 2, our first podcast will be October 1st. So this next week is just going to be videos and sharing that and getting that going. And then season 2 will start on October 1st. So
exciting.
All right. So you guys take care.
Guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys.
All right.
Bye. Have a good night, girls.
Bye.
Bye.